The Hirudo is a kickboxing style melee weapon where you have two things on your hands and two things on your feet. That's obviously one per foot. And it's basically just like the kogake. To build it does actually require the kogake and unfortunately 3 nitian extract. Comparing them to the kogake is, we're obviously going to be better everywhere. But the kogake is also better than the obex, which was the original version of these, but the obex had better crit chance. These things have got a much lower crit chance, but do have a higher attack speed, more like the obex. Apart from that, the status is pretty low, the crit's pretty low. These do look pretty low damage numbers, but damn, that is a lot of puncture on these. These things are classed as a sparring melee weapon. I knew they were called something, but I had no idea what it was. And it does come with a V polarity in there as well, which is going to be pretty handy for a melee weapon. It would be really easy to quickly go over the fact that being a sparring weapon, the combos on this are long. You do have to be really careful, because if you hit that melee key too many times, you are going to be stuck in a combo you can't come out of and possibly die. It would also be really easy to quickly go over the fact that being another sparring weapon, the range on these are so short that you literally have to be almost inside of your enemy to do damage to them. And I prefer my melee weapons where if I do a ground pound in amongst a lot of containers, they all break open. Or if you have a lot of enemies around you and you do a ground pound, they'll all fall over. These don't really have that, so you've got to change the way you play with this weapon compared to other weapons. But once you figure that out and then start to use them, it actually has some pretty nice perks to this. It has the whole every successful crit will return 5% of the damage that you deal to an enemy as health to the player. Now, we're not talking crit kills here, these are just crit hits. So every time you get orange or red hits with this melee weapon, it will regen your health just a little bit. Top that off with these... I'm trying to remember the name of it. The invigorated effect that this also has, which pops up in the top right. That will increase the player's max health by 5%. It will stack 5 times, so it can only go up to 5 times that thing, and 25% of your total health, or player's max health, as it's weirdly worded, is still a lot of health. Topped off with the fact it has a very small life strike built into it, but either way it's still life strike. This thing basically replenished your health and maxed your health all at the same time. Can kind of understand why it's called, was it Hirudo? Because it basically means leech, or something like that. That makes sense, because it leeches the health, and that I found a really useful effect, and it did save my life more times than I would like to admit with this. I did format this thing only the once. If you wanted to former it twice, it would have to be a V and a dash. I just put a V in for Blood Rush, being that every successful crit hit will return 5% of the damage you deal to them as health. And it kind of needed the whole crit build to it. I didn't bother with Berserker, aimed more for body count to increase the combo, Blood Rush to increase the crit chance, and True Steel because True Steel took the crit chance from 15 to 24. I did of course have Prime Chamber in here as well. On top of that, how you want to build it would completely depend how you do it. I personally put Virulent Scourge and Voltic Strike on this, which added Corrosive, and it took the status from 5% to 11%, being plus 60% dual stat mods. Unfortunately, though effective, I'm torn because it only has a standard of 5% status on this. So, okay, I took it up a little bit, but 11% status, it's not really going to be that useful as a status mod. It would have been much better with things like Berserker, to increase the attack speed, which would help with that whole getting stuck in a combo problem. And even maybe Auger Strike, which I did have on this, and Organ Shatter would go really well on this. I didn't have Organ Shatter on, I put in Sundering Strike for some reason. And honestly, this being what I had in here, I probably will dump Sundering Strike for Organ Shatter, but I'm torn as to what to do with it. I want to put a dash on it. I want to swap these two out for the full-blown elemental mods because it will increase the corrosive from 174 to a lot more. But I basically just wanted to go for the whole True Steel, Blood Rush and Body Count thing, and these four are kind of just, I'm still playing with this. But even a 24% crit chance with just the True Steel in there, Body Count is going to work to increase the Blood Rush thing, and that's pretty much all you need in this, because I found this thing, even just a 24% crit chance, this does get a lot more crit than I expected it to get, making it actually a very useful weapon. If you can live with the fact that its range is next to absolutely nothing, being a punching weapon that was expected, and the combo being a bit longer. If you do want to put Fury on, it will take it to 1.3 attack speed. Primed Fury will take it to 1.55. With Berserker on top of that, obviously that'll kick in when crit hits kick in. But honestly, it wasn't that bad of a weapon. I wish it had a little bit more range, that's all.